Hi, welcome to Highly Embodied Yoga with me, Sam. Today is all about the wrist and the hands. So if you've ever been in tabletop when we're doing a lot of like cat and cow, or we're moving our legs, or getting into the hips, and you're like, whoa, my hands and my wrists are so sore. Like there's a pain, and I can't stay in this pose. Or if you're in downward facing dog, and you're like, this is way too much. Uh, when I first started my yoga journey, it was a lot on my wrist, and it took me a really, really long time to build that foundation in my hands. And so I'm going to kind of give you like the fast paced journey to get there. So you can repeat this video as much as you need so that you can build that foundational strength in your hands. We have all these tiny little bones, ligaments, muscles, and if we can strengthen all of the muscles that are around our hands and our forearms, then this makes it a lot easier. Every exercise that we do on our hands and knees can be done against the wall with that same pressing of the hand into the wall, find your shoulder distance. The same principles apply to the wall as they do on the floor. It'll just take a little bit of that pressure off and allow you to build the strength at the level that you're at. So we're going to start by just reaching the hands out as if we were on the floor or as if we were up against the wall. Kind of spread the shoulder blades. If you did my video previous to this, then we're spreading through the shoulder blades. We're reaching through the palms. We're spreading through the fingertips. And just notice what you're already feeling here. And then we're going to open and close the hands. Open, close, open, close. Good. When we're on our hands and our knees, we don't want the fingers together. I see this a lot. We want to keep them spread, and you don't want to be like, ah. You just want to kind of keep space between the fingers. All right. Also, when we are on our hands, you can kind of relax your hands right now. We're going to be doing a lot. So, but when we get on our hands, the places that we want to really engage are our fingertips. Each tip of the finger is going to press into the floor, including the thumb. And then you want to have like a bend into the fingers. You don't want like straight fingers. So a nice bend into the fingers. And then we're going to focus on this row of the hand here, especially the index knuckle. This point right here, we really want to press. It's going to want to lift off the floor. And if it does, that's okay. We bring our awareness to this and we press it back down. And then this area, the palm of the hand, we're going to kind of suction it up like we're pulling the floor in and away. And then the heel of the hand, it grounds, but we're not dumping weight here. So this is what typically happens when we start to experience that pain in the wrist, is that we're dumping a lot of our weight into the wrist. But if we can shift our weight a little forward into the fingertips and into the knuckles here, this is where the magic really happens, where we feel strong and stable and that foundational strength. So let's begin. Take the arms up. We're going to start by warming up. So we're going to open and close here. Open, close, open, close. And then we're going to start to get faster. And just keep going. And faster, 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 almost like you're flicking water off of your fingers. And then open as wide as you can and close as tightly as you can and keep going as fast and as fast and as fast. And the blood is going to start to leave your hands, and it's going to start to get hard, and it's going to get tingly, and it's going to start to get fatigued. Keep going. Bring your awareness back to your breath. I did this video before, but I didn't have the volume on. So I've already done all these exercises and I'm feeling them very, very intensely right now. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Oh my goodness, we're almost there. Ah! Keep going. Keep going. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Maybe one side is more fatigued than the other. I know that mine is. 3. Take a nice deep breath. 2. Last breath here. And ooh, relax those hands down. Gentle shake of the hands. Nothing intense. Rolling through the wrist. Ooh, yeah. Like I said, I did this video before, recorded the whole thing full force. And Yeah, so this is double the work for me. So, okay, here we go. Reach the fingers out, point the fingers down. Reach the fingers out, point the fingers up. Out, down, out, up, out, down, out, up, out, down, out, up. Shake. All right. We're going to come on to the hands and the knees or the wall if that's where you're headed. So use the blanket if that's what you like. If you want that extra cushion under your knees, I honestly prefer it. If I'm going to be on the knees for any length of time, blanket is where it's at. Find that gripping of the fingertips. Find that pressing of the knuckles into the floor. And then just notice the hands. Notice this new activation in the hands. And then notice your wrists right here. Is it parallel to the top of the mat? Is it turned out? Is it turned in? You can find a gentle turning of the palms out. And this is going to be different for everyone and your comfort and your anatomy. So play around with the turning of the palm to find what works for you. All right. Regrip through the fingertips. Press down through the knuckles. There goes Terrence. We're going to roll through in a big circle. Just kind of feeling the weight distribution. I know Terrence is in the way. Big circles through the wrists. Shifting the weight forward, around, and back. Forward, around, and back. And then go the opposite direction. And just take any mental notes of anything that you're experiencing as we're shifting the weight. Maybe one wrist is stronger or weaker. Maybe one side of the hand is experiencing sensations. All right. From here, let's turn the fingers out to the side. And we're going to find that same kind of rolling through big circles around. And then we'll go the opposite direction. Good. Turning the fingers towards the knees, palms facing down, gentle pulling back towards you. And maybe gently press the heel of the hand down into the floor. Come back to your breath. This doesn't have to be anything major. You don't have to find like your end range and like crank it as far back as you can. Just enough to kind of feel a little stretch through the wrist. And then we're going to turn the palms down. So the palms are facing up, the back of the hand is on the floor, and a gentle kind of pulling back. Good. Gently come back onto the hands and then sit back and gently shake the wrists. Open, close. And then kind of turn the palm in to make a fist, and then gentle, like little puppy dog paddles. Like you're swimming and just kind of flipping the wrist. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Getting into the real strength here of the hands. So remember that kind of turning of the wrist that you like, maybe exploring more or less. And then we're going to shift the weight forward so that our shoulders try to stay over the wrist. They're going to kind of shift back as we do this, but keep thinking shoulders over the wrist. Inhale, we're going to lift off of the wrist onto the knuckles of our hands. And then imagine that there's like a tennis ball or a stress ball underneath the wrist, and you're going to press and kind of resist down into the floor. Inhale, we come on to the knuckles, and exhale, we press down. Keep shift the weight forward. Inhale onto the knuckles. Exhale, press down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, press down. Inhale, we come up, and exhale, we come down. We'll do two more. Inhale, up, exhale, down. Last one, up, and exhale, down. All right, we're going to take lots of breaks because this is the second time that I've done this, and I am feeling fatigued through all of the muscles of my forearms and my hands. Yay. All right, here we go. Second exercise. So we're going to lift up onto the fingers and then back down to the floor. Inhale onto the fingers and down to the floor. Keep shifting the weight forward so that you're using the strength of the fingers, and then back down to the floor. Inhale, we lift, and exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Once more, lift and lower. Come back onto the heels, gently shake, open, close, open, close. I think somebody is driving by, so Terrence is letting me know. It might be the trash truck. All right, coming back onto the hands. So we're going to put those two exercises together, the one where we come up onto the knuckles, and then we're going to come up onto the hands, back onto the knuckles, and then back down to the floor with that same resistance against the floor. Okay. Finding a nice and gentle breath. Coming up onto the knuckles, onto the fingers, back to the knuckles, and resist the floor. Knuckles, fingers, knuckles, floor. Knuckles, fingers, knuckles, floor. Knuckles, fingers, knuckles, floor. Keep shifting the weight forward. Fingers, knuckles, floor. Two more. Knuckles, fingers, knuckles, floor. Last one. Coming up and down, and then resist the floor. Good. Come off. Gentle shake. I'm tired, y'all. This one's a lot. The first video I did a lot more, so y'all kind of looked out. Okay. One little trick, now that our kind of strength portion is done, is you can use a towel. And this is just, I don't suggest using it while we're doing this like strength portion, so don't use it for this video. But for the other videos, when you're in down dog or you're in plank or you're in tabletop for a while, and you feel like you're very fatigued, you can take any kind of little tea towel here and you can roll it and kind of create like a little bit of a cushion here. And then you can place the heels of your hands down, and this will kind of help shift the weight into the fingers and the knuckles and kind of give you a little bit of a cushion so that it's kind of easier and kind of gives you that little buffer there. That's really nice. If you get into your practice and you don't have that, you can always use your blanket the same way, or you can always roll up the end of your mat and use the end of your mat as like that kind of cushion. So just a little helpful tip if you're ever in a class and get kind of fatigued throughout. Okay. Coming back into a seated position. Just kind of stretching out through the wrists a little bit. Open, close, open, close. Actually, just kidding. We're going to go through cat and cow just so that we can kind of implement everything that we've already done in our hands and our forearms. So coming back into your tabletop, just kidding. All right, here we are. Find that turning of the hand that you want. I like to kind of point my index finger towards the corners of my mat. This kind of makes sure that my wrist stays pretty parallel to the front of the mat. This feels pretty good for me. Grip the floor with the fingertips. Press the knuckles down into the floor. Find that kind of vacuuming, lifting up through the palm of the hand. Shift the weight gently forward. Find where you want your hips and your feet, tucked or untucked through the toes as always. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, round through the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, round. Continue this movement and notice the hands. Have you lost the grip through the fingertips? Have you lost the pressure into the knuckles? Have you shifted out of the wrist? Can you shift the shoulders more over the wrist? Continue moving through your cat and cow. Can you maintain that awareness through your hands? Keep lifting up through the base of the palm, shifting weight into the knuckles, into the fingers. Noticing the amount of activation that is required here in the hands. Here we're establishing those muscular and neural connections so that we're building that foundation through our hands so that the next time that you're in class, you can kind of come back to this again and again. And this will help build that strength so that next time you're in your down dog, you can focus more on alignment, focus more on space, focus on the breath, and less on, oh, my wrist hurts. Good. Okay, now we're going to come back to our seated position. Finding where we want to be here. Ooh, okay. I have done a lot. So we're going to stretch out the wrists. So finding that gentle rolling one way and the other way. It doesn't have to look like mine. It can be any way. Good. Bring the wrists together. We're going to keep the wrists together, but we're going to rotate. So we're rotating to the back of the wrists, flipping the palms all the way around. This kind of requires a little mental work here. Keeping the wrists together, just rotating all the way around. Good. And then go the opposite direction. Sometimes when we go the opposite direction, it takes a little bit for our mind and our body to kind of coordinate. So if it's kind of challenging, that's okay. Just doing your best to keep the wrists together and then rolling all the way through. All right. Back to the center. We're going to take one forearm down onto our knee, and then we're going to use the other forearm on top. And you're going to press down. And you're just going to kind of move back and forth. And if you do it correctly, or you do it with enough pressure, there's all these tendons that run down the forearm, and they are going to make your fingers move, whether you try to move them or not. Switching the sides, bringing the forearm to the other forearm, palm facing up, and then rolling back and forth. Just kind of maybe watching your fingers as they move. Very interesting little anatomy there. Good. Coming back up. Stacking the head over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And just find your breath and just notice the movement, or not necessarily movement, but the energy, the blood flow, the tingling, the fatigue that you are experiencing through the forearms, the hands, the fingers. Let's take the right arm out. We're going to take the left hand, we're going to hold the fingers, and we're going to gently pull the fingers back and kind of reach gently out through the heel of the hand. Gently stretching out. And then release that, turn the palm down, take your thumb to that vacuum space of the center of your palm, wrap the fingers around the other fingers in the palm, and then reach back, kind of reaching the wrist forward as you gently pull the fingers down and back. Maybe even pressing a little bit into the palm of the hand. And then release, shake. Reach the left arm forward, right hand. We'll do palm face up first. Fingers over the fingers, pull down gently, reach the heel of the hand forward. Release, switch, thumb to the palm, wrap the fingers, gently pulling back, maybe a little pressure into the palm. And then release, open, close. Good. Take the thumb in, wrap the fingers around, and then as if you're like sliding a glove, almost like you're pulling the skin down, holding onto the forearm, and then wrap the fingers like you're pulling your fist towards your face. Good. Open, close. Same thing on the other side. Thumb in, wrap, pull the skin down, pull the fist towards you. Full round of breath. Release, open, close. Take the thumb, press into this kind of meaty portion at the base of the thumb. Just kind of giving yourself a little bit of a self massage here, and then go up the side of the pinky, going towards the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and then get through each finger. Go all the way down the pinky, all the way down the ring, all the way down the middle, all the way down the index finger, and then don't forget about the thumb. Good. And then switching the sides, getting that meaty portion of the base of the thumb here. And you can spend as much time here as you want. We're not going to spend too much time, but again, after this video is done, you can always give yourself a self massage. Wrap down the pinky side of the wrist, the hand, down the ring finger, middle finger, index. Getting each finger, again, spending as much time as you want here. Good. Don't forget the thumb. Good. All right. Open, close, open, close. Set the palms down. We'll just end with a few breaths here. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, feel the ground underneath you. Inhale, expand the rib cage out. Exhale, feel the ribs come back together. One more deep breath down into the belly. Full exhale. Good. Thank you so much for joining this video. Again, you can come back to this video as many times as you like. You can always use the wall. You can use a coffee table even, kind of standing and pressing the hands into a coffee table. Work with where you are and develop the strength that's required. Um, and I look forward to seeing y'all again in another video. And if you have more areas of the body where you're like, I could use a little extra strength or a little extra, guidance or alignment, let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.